So hello and welcome fellow coin collectors, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the actual all the commemorative 50-cent coins that actually issue for circulation and which ones to actually keep. So I actually wanted to do this comprehensive video because a lot of people think that all these are actually pretty much will be worth a lot more in the actual future, but as you will see that a lot of them actually are not. They'll only be worth 50 cents. And I'm not talking about the standard coat of arms 50 cent that I have here. I should actually do another video on these because these are actually a different coin altogether and they're actually not too popular. But the first one I want to talk about is the actual silver 50 cent. If you ever get one of these for 50 cents, always keep it because I've sold these for $15 in a pretty good condition. So these ones are always worth more than 50 cents. Okay, so the first commemorative we have is the 1970s Captain Cook 50 cent. And as you can see, Captain Cook, this one's in pretty good condition. And I actually have a few more somewhere, but these ones were always kept in 1970. So that's why you always find them in good condition. I've never really found any of these in pretty circulated condition like this 1977 coin, pretty worn. So these ones actually are pretty well. Oh, I said actually again. Someone keeps on picking on me about that. Actually, I don't care. So the 1970 has a mintage of 16.5 million. Most of them you get are in this good condition, high grade. And they sell for about probably $4 or $5 if you're lucky, you know. But if they're lower than this grade, I just spend them. So they're really not worth keeping if they're less than almost uncirculated condition. So there's that one. Then 1977, so 7 years later, we have the 25 years of Queen Elizabeth becoming Queen. These ones are both in circulated condition. Had a mintage of 25 million. I would only keep these if they're uncirculated. So in this condition, as you can see, a lot of wear and scratches. These ones are going back into circulation. So once again, only keep these in uncirculated. And I'll separate these coins. On this side, I'll put the ones you only keep in uncirculated. And on this side, you can keep in lower grades. Then we have the 1981. So this is the Elizabeth II. Oh, no, yeah, Elizabeth II's on that back, like normal. The Charles and Diana 50 cent coin. So this one had a mintage of 20 million, high grade. These were the only 50 cent coin minted in London, so these were not minted in Canberra. And this one I'd only keep if it's almost uncirculated or higher. If it's very fine, has a lot of wear, just put back into circulation. You're not really going to sell them. So these sell for probably about $2 or $3 in uncirculated. So not really worth keeping. The next coin we have is pretty much one of the highest minted commemorative coins. And this is the 12 Commonwealth Games in Brisbane. As you can see, these ones are all in pretty low grade. So these ones I wouldn't keep. These are worth 50 cents. If you get an uncirculated one, you can probably sell it for $2 to $3. But these have a mintage of 49.6 million. So these will never really be worth anything higher than 50 cents in this condition. They're going to be common for hundreds of years. So 200-300 years, if you actually take a pill to actually extend your life, you're still going to find these quite common. Okay, the next one we have is the 1988 50 cent coin. This is a lower minted, has 9 million, but because what it represents, 200 years of the British settling in Australia, invasion, whichever one you want to call it, and these are pretty popular. But with 9 million, if they're actually worn, I probably wouldn't keep them, but you can get a lot of them in this high grade as well. Because of the good design, these are actually kept. So a lot of them you'll get in circulation are actually quite nice. So another one, if it's not almost uncirculated, I definitely wouldn't keep it. It's not really going to worth much. But you can probably sell these for about $4 or $5 in uncirculated condition. So that's going into only uncirculated condition that you keep. Okay, the next one is 1991, 25 years decimal currency. So as you can see, I've put this in a holder because it's in pretty high condition. This one had a mintage of 4.7 million. So probably extremely fine to almost uncirculated I'll keep. If it was very fine and you lose a lot of detail here, a lot of scratches, I would just spend it. These sell for probably about $5 in this condition. So if you actually want to keep one in high grade, you're going to make at least $4.50 on it. So it's one you keep actually lower than the actual almost uncirculated condition. Okay, the next one we have is the 1994. So this one has two varieties, so you need to check the actual date. This one has a mintage of 21.3 million, so in this condition, definitely not worth keeping. I'd only keep this in almost uncirculated grade. And here you see, the bottom one is the wide date and the top one is the narrow date. So it's two varieties that actually come in. So it's not an error because it's actually a deliberate variety. So here's another narrow date. Another narrow date. And I've made another video on this narrow date. Now there isn't actually a narrow date. There isn't actually too much demand for these coins because the actual design is pretty terrible. But with a high mintage, these conditions, just spend them. You'd only keep this in almost uncirculated grade, and you'd be lucky to get $2 for it in uncirculated. So it's another one. Okay, then we have the 95. This has 15.9 million, so not really worth keeping in this grade. And this is the Weary Dunlop. And this coin, I'm not too keen on because I think that the effigy of Weary Dunlop could have been done better. Then the next one is 98. This is also another high mint coin. And as you can see, there's a pattern of the actual mint actually getting excited and just producing a lot of coins. So this is a 22.4 million minted coin. And as you can see, it has a lot of wear on it. So this coin in this condition, not worth keeping. And this is the Bass and Flinders commemorative. So they actually sailed around from Sydney, around Tasmania, discovery of Bass Strait, even though it was discovered probably 40,000 years ago. And in this condition, just spend them. Then we have the 2000 commemorative royal visit. Wow, how lucky of the royals to visit Australia. Wow, when they actually are supposed to rule it. Anyway, so this one has a mintage of 5.1 million. In these conditions, I'd probably keep them. I very rarely see them in circulation. In almost uncirculated, probably sell for, I don't know, $7 or $8. And in this condition, circulated probably a little bit less, $3 or $4. But these ones I always keep. If they're really damaged, it doesn't matter how low the mintage is. You're actually, like, if they're in this condition, or lots of crap, it doesn't matter what mintage, I'd probably just throw it back. So then we have the 2000. So this one has a few varieties. So we have the Incuse Union Jack. And then the actual lettering has fat lettering, so it's an error because the actual die is degrading. So we have a 1 variety and 1 error, and they can occur on the same coin. I don't have an incuse at the moment. I sold mine to the United States. And these ones here, see this one's in pretty high grade. I have some print marks, some scratches. I'd probably keep this. It has a mintage of 16.6 million, so if they're any lower than this grade, I wouldn't keep it. So if they're in this condition, so this one's pretty well worn, as you can see. And in this condition, they go back into circulation. But I keep the incuse and the fat lettering, and I toss the rest. I don't toss it into the gutter. You don't need coins, let the rats have it. So those ones only keep in pretty high grade. Then we have the 2001. So this is the actual standard coat of arms of Australia. 43 million, quite a high mintage. And as you can see, this one actually has an error. So they always have the double rim. So that's pretty common. So that error you don't keep. If it has the problem with the Australia, definitely keep it. I sell those for $5, so that's okay. And you can see the double error as well. You can also get doubling on the animals, but in this condition I generally just sell them, and because they're just a high mintage, they're going to be common for quite a few years. So here we actually have the doubling on the actual kangaroo. So if I zoom in, you can see the actual doubling on the kangaroo. So it's the die actually degrading. Not too common, but I'd probably only keep those in pretty high grade, but I just wanted to keep this one as a example. But still, this doubling is probably only worth probably $2 or $3 at most. If you get an uncirculated one, then yeah, it would actually be worth keeping. So let's zoom out. Okay, so that's another one you don't keep. But 2001, the state ones, these are all low mintage. So here we have a Western Australia. I'm just looking at, where's Western Australia? These are usually around 2 million. Okay, 2.4 for Western Australia. I keep these pretty much even in this condition. I sell this one, and do I have Norfolk Island? So usually for $5 for circulated grades of these two coins, I sell for $5. So you can actually get some have a money. And here we have Norfolk Island. So Norfolk Island, it's a kangaroo and a lion. That's 2.2 million. Northern Territory, New South Wales, Northern New South Wales. So these ones I always keep, unless they're really damaged. So that one, keep. So we've got 3 coins so far. Then the next one is the 2002 windmill. So this commemorates year of the outback, 15.5 million. So these ones in circulated grade like this I'd spend, and so I'd actually only keep these if they're actually almost uncirculated. So another coin that you only spend in almost uncirculated grade. So as you can see, there's actually quite a few coins actually in the almost uncirculated that if they're actually well circulated you spend, unlike some other countries like New Zealand. Anyway, so the next coin we have a 2003 Volunteers, and this one has a mintage of 13.9 million. So if You get them in this grade. So these are actually pretty high grade, probably EF, but still I actually wouldn't keep it. So almost uncirculated to uncirculated with a high mintage. You know, and another thing is that you can actually get a lot of these coins in sets. So that if you actually wanted an uncirculated one, then definitely get it in a set. Okay, the next coin is a primary school design. This is actually one of my favorite designs because it has animals. So you have a parrot. Can't remember what type of parrot this is. Maybe a collector's parrot. A koala and a wombat. So koalas and wombats are actually closely related. I think they're separated by 30 million years. But they're the two closest animals to each other. And this one is mintage of 10.2 million, so quite a common coin. So you only keep these if they're actually in almost uncirculated. So those ones are going into circulation. And another thing, if you ever find an A on 2004 with a pointed, that's pointed, definitely a keeper, because those are supposed to only be minted in sets. And with these animal ones, these are not supposed to have pointed A's, so then it'll be very scarce coin, and you'll probably sell it for at least hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Okay, another common coin is the World War II commemorative. So this commemorates 60 years since the end of the Second World War. And this one has a mintage of 26.2 million, so pretty much a coin you won't keep. This one has a card on the chin of Elizabeth II, so I'd probably keep that. Then we have another one, no card. So here we have another one. We have a card on the robe, so that one you probably keep. Then we have a card on the robe and also on the top of the helmet. So the robe card doesn't seem to be rare, but the helmet one does seem to be. So here's another normal one. Any cards there? Nope. So just the standard one I wouldn't keep. Okay, nope. No cards on that one. And the last one, no cards. No. So I'd keep cards. You can find cards on any of those coins, but that one you would only keep if it has an error or in almost uncirculated condition. Okay. Then I didn't check this one. So yeah, there's a card. Is that a card on the robe? No, yeah, another card on the robe. Let's develop. So next one is another one that was issued in 2005, the Melbourne Olympics, or Commonwealth Games, should I say? Oh, getting myself confused. 20.5 million. I'd only keep these if it's an error or a. See, this one looks like, is that doubling? Oh no. Or if it's almost uncirculated. So this one has a cut on it, so you'd actually keep that coin. Then we have 210 Australia Day. So I didn't like this when it came out. I'm not really too keen on it. I don't celebrate Australia Day myself. 11.4 million. And I'd only keep this if it's almost uncirculated. Kept a few of these from 2010. Then we have the ATIS. So now we're getting into the lower mintage coins. So this is a 2014. So this celebrates the Australian Institute Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. I always keep these. It has a mintage of 3 million. And generally you can find them in high grades. So definitely worth keeping. And they're actually not popular. The current commemorative coins are actually definitely not popular. Then in 2017 they issued 2016, sorry, wrong date. The actual 50 years of decimal currency, and this one has the actual shilling on it. So if I show you the actual shilling, I do have them somewhere. Oh, here it is. So this actually has the ram's head, so that's the shilling coin. And quite frankly, I actually don't like this coin because they probably should have just gotten rid of that and put it on the other side. Enlarge this, put the coin's head in the middle and have the lettering going around. And on this side, they probably should have put Australia. And instead of the shilling, they should have actually put the actual denomination. That would have actually looked better than this design. But this has a mintage of 7 million, so pretty much I'd only keep it if it's almost uncirculated. But if you actually get to 5 and 10, 20, 50 cent, I do sell them for $10. Mostly overseas buyers buy them. So that one, it is up to you. But in lower grades, like in a grade like this, I just throw it back in circulation. The last coin we have is the referendum, 50 years. So this is the Mabo coin. Oh no, the second last coin, sorry. God, I'm making so many mistakes, but I'm just human. This one has a mintage of 1.4 million. They don't seem to be popular. You can sell them for like $1.50 and you should be able to get them in pretty much this grade. I've only ever seen, I think, 2 coins in circulation, as well as the ATIS. I've never actually, I think this is the only coin I've actually ever gotten in circulation. That's why I kept it. So in Melbourne, these are actually not popular. So these ones, I'd probably keep all of them. And the last one, which I've never seen in circulation, I do have this bag from the actual, the mobile coin swaps. So this is the Indigenous coin. So this one has a mintage of 2.1 million. So I've never seen it in circulation, but I will keep all the coins that you can find. And if I can, okay, so if we have a look at that, 2019, you can see it looks rotated, but that's just the way the actual coin's supposed to be. If you find a coin with the head like that, but you have to have 50 cent down the bottom, then that is the actual coin to actually keep. So the 50 cent needs to be on the bottom, and the coin's head needs to also be facing that way. But I don't think you're going to find any of those. I think if you're going to find an error, the 50 will actually be placed that way, because then they've improperly placed the actual coin into the actual press. So this one definitely keeps. So the last 10 years, these 3 coins definitely keep. Even in pretty low grades. But you're not going to find them really in pretty low grades, because all the ones I've seen are actually in pretty high grade. So I hope this helps you with 50 cent coins and what you should actually keep. I know it's a bit long, but you know, there's a hell of a lot of 50 cent coins to actually go through. So these are pretty much all the actual 50 cents that if they're lower than almost uncirculated, you throw back into circulation. So we got, you know, the Captain Cook, pretty common, 77, 81, 82, 88 if it's in lower grade, so 95, 98, 2001, 94, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 210, and 216. And for the actual coins I'd keep that are in less than almost uncirculated grade, the 91, the 2000 Royal Visit, the 2001 State coins, the Mabo, so the 2014 ATIS, 2017 Mabo, and 2019 language coins. So out of all those, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, And how many state coins were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you got 14 coins to collect, but there are only 6 dates. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you stick around long enough and you actually missing any of these coins, these common coins, these ones I'll keep. But if you're missing any of these common coins, leave a comment down below and I would ask for your address and I'll give you one. So, of course, I'd make it a pretty high grade coin. So this one's actually going back into circulation. But thank you very much for watching and have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time. Thank you and goodbye.